All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Matt, aka Biker Believer, and this is the 2026 Kawasaki KLX 230 Sherpa. This is also my wife's new bike. Let's check it out. Full disclosure, my wife got this bike so that she could have something that could she could dip her toe into the off-roading world of riding to use at the Kentucky Red River Scramble Rally. And here she is on this motorcycle right here. Or not my wife, but here's the bike she got. She originally intended to get a Honda CRF 300 LS, but they are hard to come by, so this is what we ended up getting. And so far it's been pretty sweet. First off, I'm going to say this color, it's bone white is the color name. Oh, it's awesome. It's dirty right now, dusty, but the videos, the pictures just don't do it justice. It's a bike you have to see in person. Love this color. This bike came standard with these handguards, which are plastic, but they got a metal frame to them, so pretty cool there. It came with a little miniature bash plate. Maybe not the best bash plate, but it still has something, so that's a plus. 21-inch front wheel, 18 rear. What sets the Sherpa S apart from the regular KLX 230, and I think the new one's called the DARPA or something, or DARPA, I'm not sure. The suspension is set lower. It's got a lower suspension, so lower seat height. I think it's only like 32.5 inches, or maybe even a little lower than that. Might be like 32.3. So that makes it accessible, and it's a pretty slim bike. So if you can get your leg over it, it doesn't feel big under your legs neither. So that's a plus. I like this headlight too. I think this is probably one of the best looking dual sport bikes out, actually. And I like something, it's got this headlight guard, but the frame is like almost colored to match the body, and it looks really cool. It looks really nice. Spoked wheels, single disc on the front, chain drive obviously, single cylinder, about 17 horsepower, air cooled, pretty simple little motor. Got these knobby tires. I have no idea what brand they are. These are Trails GP 21Fs or something. Don't know much about them. I'm new to the off-roading world as well, and yeah, I had to get a smaller for my wife to want to join me in off-road riding. She had to get this style of bike, a little bit smaller dual sport instead of a ADV bike like I got at home. But let's start her up, take her for a run. This is a weird thing. It's not just the KLX. Almost every dual sport I've rode has this, I guess, the brake lines and stuff routed up through here. Something cool about this bike has an ABS button over here, so you can hit this to turn ABS on and off, I believe, or you hold it or something. So I think that's pretty legit, pretty cool. Not gonna turn it off yet. Maybe find a little bit of off-road section or dirt or gravel or something. But anyways, let's take this bad boy for a spin. Oh, this bike is so light. Like, when I say light, I mean it's super light. I think it's around 300 pounds or maybe a little less. But oh, it feels even lighter than that. It's like bicycle light. So easy to ride, super easy to ride. and you can tell that this bike was, you know, made for riding in the dirt. It leans more towards agility than stability, and you can tell that on the streets because it has a super sharp turning radius and turns in really quick. But something I have noticed about this bike is at speed, like if you're going a little quicker and you start swerving back and forth, it'll get a little wobbly on you, unstable. So not the bike to be making, you know, sharp back and forth turns at speed. Yeah, not designed for that. Not that kind of bike. It feels like it has enough street prowess about it to get you to where you want to go to ride, and it's really more designed for off-road riding. That's what this bike feels like. Which, you know, that's a dual sport for you. It's got enough street in it to get you where you need to go, so you can hit the trails, get muddy, get dirty, if you know what I mean. I'll tell you what, this bike is, oh, it's fun. It's a hoot. This little motor is, you know, which I'm still pre-break-in, but this motor's a hoot. I wouldn't say it's not a bike you want on fast highways. It's a bike that does good between that 50 and 60 mile an hour mark. That's about where you're going to be cruising on this motorcycle most of the time. So you're going to want to take your back roads typically and not get on your big highways on this bike, which is, you know, I don't know, when I'm on a motorcycle I like taking the back roads anyways. Such a fun little bike. This little motor, like it's not a lot of power, but it's still enough that you can get going enough to have some good fun. And I really it's crazy because I ride a lot more powerful bikes than this typically, but when I come to this, I don't know, it's just so much fun. It really is. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air. It just, I don't know, it's just so easy. This would be a great beginner motorcycle to learn on, I believe. Yeah, it's just easy. The clutch, pretty light. The brake levers, you know, easy to modulate. The braking is, actually the braking's really good. Even for that single, which it ain't got much weight to carry, so that single disc is actually pretty legit. Let's see the rear brake. Yeah, rear brake, not a heavy rear brake, but it's got a, but it's not bad. It's just moderately powerful rear brake, I guess. There is something a complaint I have though. No gear indicator. Yeah, it should have a gear indicator, and it's got like this little spot here in the dash that looks like that's where the gear indicator would be. So it makes it all the more obvious that it doesn't have a gear indicator, so that kind of sucks. Overall, this is a really simple motorcycle, not a lot. I mean, like I said, you got your ABS function that you can control, but there's not much electronics going on here. I think it does have Bluetooth connectivity and stuff. We've not fooled with that yet, so I'm not going to comment on that. You know, most motorcycles have it nowadays. But I mean, like when I cycle through the menu, the dash here, which is really simple, it shows you basically your odometer, trip A and trip B, and I think that's like it. That's like all the information it shows you. It's not a lot going on as far as viewable information. I mean, but you don't need that on this kind of bike. This is a a very affordable motorcycle, you know, under 6,000. I think it was like 5,700 or 5,800, I can't remember. But yeah, you got your clock, which this one's wrong, and I need to set that. And then you got your fuel gauge. I will say on the fuel gauge, which is not bad, but like this has a 2-gallon fuel tank from the factory, but there's a lot of aftermarket options out there to make it like 3 or 4 gallons. So pretty cool, pretty good there. But the fuel range is not bad even with the 2 gallons. It seemed like I'm thinking we got like 70, or maybe it was either high 60s or low 70s in the fuel mileage, if I can remember right on that first tank. So fuel mileage is actually really good too. So not a lot of cost as far as riding it around. So with 2, you know, you can get probably between that 100 to 130 mile range. You probably get about 140 if you take it plumb empty. But you know, usually you'll stop at a gas station every 100 to 130 miles, somewhere in there probably. But it'll be showing close to empty and still have like 3/4 of a tank of gas left. So you know, that's just something to be aware of. But you know, that kind of is your reserve, is that 3/4 of a tank of fuel on this motorcycle. So you might think you're almost out, but you're not really. You still got quite a bit of range. The suspension's fairly compliant. You know, this is a more affordable bike. I wouldn't say it's nothing crazy amazing. I can feel the bumps in this road, but we did sit on a Honda CRF 300 LS that was already sold, and I remember thinking the suspension on that bike was like so soft, it was crazy. This one squats when you sit on it, but not like that one did. So without riding that Honda CRF 300 LS, I would say that this bike might lean a little more towards the sportier side versus that bike. I mean, you know, that's preemptively just from sitting on it and then riding this one, you know. So this bike's fun. Alright, here we see some gravel here. This is off-roading, you know. Well, I'm gonna say off. It is technically, I guess, but this gravel road, I don't know if the camera will really show it, but this gravel road gets really steep. It's first gear. Go second. And then we got some rain too, so probably got some ruts. Yeah, this road's really steep. I guess I should have turned ABS off. I don't know. Oh well. See how it does with ABS on. Just dragging the rear brake. Oh yeah, this bike's nice. Yeah, suspension's not nothing sophisticated. You know, there's no adjustability to it, I don't think. And you do feel the bumps, but it's not, you know, it's for a first dual sport motorcycle, or off for first bike, or whatever you buy this for. It's pretty good, actually. Actually, even with the ABS on, and that is really steep back there. This bike did really good. Oh, I'm 6'1", by the way, and I'm actually able to ride this bike fairly comfortably. Pretty easy to stand up on. Oh, got a little bit of ruts here. I will say the seat's hard, but I rode it for, I was able to ride it over an hour after we bought it from the dealer all the way home. Ride it about an hour and 20 minutes or something. Yeah, my butt was hurting a little, but overall it was still okay. And you know, it's one of those seats you can move around on, so if you get uncomfortable, you can change your position and whatnot to, you know, change it up a bit, extend the range. Yeah, no tachometer, nothing like that. Not that you really need it. You can hear the engine pretty easily, know when you need to shift. Let's see here. We'll get out here and see what speed we can hit, maybe. Alright, let's see what we got here. Full throttle. A little 230 here. We hit 69 according to this. The GPS speed's probably going to be down there like 64 or so, maybe 65 GPS corrected speed, I would say. Yeah, that's about what she can do. You know, I'm going full throttle. I'm kind of tucked a little bit. Yeah. 71, so maybe mid to high 60s. Well, yeah, mid 60 be your top speed, really. Probably about GPS be like 65, maybe 66 at most. And then she loses some steam going uphill, you know. So it's a bike you kind of learn to keep a little momentum going to the best of your ability. But yeah, that's a high enough speed to, you know, take some back roads to the trails that you want to ride and stuff. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Going downhill. That rare situation going downhill where you can hit a higher speed than you normally would. Oh, yeah, hit the rev limiter or speed limiter or something. 74, 75 there. So probably you might, like I said, rare situations you might get this bike up close to 70. It might be more like 68 or 9 mile an hour top speed. But it, you know, it rides between 50 and 60, even up to, you know, the low 60s, at least according to the bike speedometer. It does fine. You know, I've had no problem staying with traffic on the roads I've been riding, 55 mile an hour roads typically. Don't feel like I'm really slowing people down too bad or having trouble keeping up with people. Good little, I mean, it's not fast, but this motor's still fun. Like, I don't know, it's got a bit of a character to it. Actually, there's not a lot of, I'm surprised because of the style of bike this is and the motor, you know, being an air-cooled little single, I expected more buzz in the handlebars, but actually the vibrations and the buzz through the handlebars is not bad. I can feel it in the feet a little bit. but it's, I don't know, it's not bad. It hasn't bothered me in all the time I've rode this bike so far, and even, you know, riding over an hour. The buzziness, whatever you want to call it, no problem. So actually, for the type of bike this is, the comfort's not, it's not horrible, you know. I've rode some other dual sports, the DR Z4S, the new one, and I've rode the DR 650, and I'm trying to think what other bikes, you know, and those bikes were, you know, they had the bench seat, not comfortable, very hard. And I feel like this seat is as comfortable, if not more comfortable than those, you know. So, yeah. Overall fun, great little bike. I'm glad my wife got it, and she seems to really be enjoying it. She'll have to give you her thoughts and opinions on it. But this thing's fun. I'll have to take it off-road a little somewhere. Maybe when we do the Red River Scramble, hopefully I'll get some footage of that, being off-road doing that, so that, you know, I can share that with you and tell you how it did. And hopefully it does good. I know where it's lowered, it has a little less ground clearance than your standard 230 KLX, but that's to be expected. But I think it's got enough for the type of riding we want to do. You know, I'm not looking to do something just like outrageously crazy and on the side of a cliff with, you know, rocks, going over rocks 2-3 foot tall. I ain't looking to do that. Yeah, agile, good little bike. Only thing I will, like, yeah, like it will kind of bounce back on you when you tip it in if you don't hold it. It's not a bike that wants to be swerved back and forth. It'll get a little wobbly, like not dangerously slow, but enough that you're like, I don't like swerving back and forth on this bike. Like I said, it's got enough street prowess about it to get you to the places you want to be. It's still fun on the road, but it's not one of those bikes you're just gonna be absolutely throwing as hard as you can into a corner. Nah. Definitely, especially with the knobby tires. Nope, not got that kind of confidence. Overall good little bike, you know. That's about all I got though that I can think of right off the bat. Yeah, I don't know, simple but effective fun. Yeah, and a good price too. So and it's a good looking little dual sport. So that's all I got, guys. Till next time, I'm Matt, aka Bike a Believer. God bless. Don't forget, Jesus Christ is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Praise be to God and glory to Him forever and ever. But anyways, that's it, guys. Till next time, peace, love, joy, and all the above.